So should we bring articles of impeachment against Donald Trump?
Yeah, absolutely, you should.
A lot of people are saying that, and in fact, I mean, there's so many reasons why we should impeach this guy.
So someone actually tried.
Yeah, so it was a representative from Michigan. His name is Thanator, and basically is like, look at all this corrupt stuff that Trump is doing. Time to get rid of him, right?
So what was the list?
Well, you got the jet from Qatar, right?
Yeah.
And everyone kind of knows about that. What's that?
Not getting yet.
Well, not yet, right? He's in the Middle East now, like, please give me that jet. You also have, like, say, his meme coin, where basically he's selling,
Yeah.
you know, FaceTime to the president. Like, if you want to meet the president, give a bunch of money to his crypto, and a bunch of that money's coming outside the United States. You have stuff like his family is making money off him being president, so building golf courses, and,
Yeah.
you know, hotels, that kind of stuff. Or you can talk about canceling people's civil rights, or you know, firing people illegally. Like literally, is like a lot.
And every day is, you know, there's ad.
Yeah. So what happened with the bill basically is that the Democrats felt that now is not the right time. So it's not that anyone disagrees necessarily that, you know, we should,
Yeah.
you know, not impeach him. Like, people are like, no, definitely should, but you have to be strategic about politics, right? It's I call it a game, I guess you could say.
It is.
And the basic idea, guys, if you guys are like, why don't we just impeach him now? The argument against why not bringing it now is it's not the right time because the Republicans are trying to pass their big tax bill. They're calling it the Big Beautiful Bill.
What is? Everything is big, right?
And beautiful, right? And it actually was kind of funny. There was an article talking about Trump, because like people track all the stuff that he says. Because like we see the stuff that he says, but then there's people who like count the number of times he says stuff. So basically, when he was in the Middle East, he kept calling people handsome. Handsome.
To who?
To various leaders in the Middle East. Like, oh, you're a handsome guy, and you're a handsome.
Like to like princess and king.
Yeah. He likes to talk about people's appearance, which is kind of crazy. And then the most recent, and you guys can watch my last video, he was talking about how great the marble was in the palace. And it was kind of odd in that particular video. He, you know, has like a spray tan.
Yeah.
There's a clear line. No, clear, like really clear, orange and then like regular skin color. It was like usually kind of want to blend it in to make it look natural, but
yeah, so
it was a bit weird.
Yeah, because maybe he couldn't bring his like, how can I say, like makeup stuff.
Yeah, that's what people were wondering. Like, what happened to your makeup person? I mean,
so, I didn't know that before he's using the spray tan. So I asked one of my friends. Why, always they have a, around your eyes.
Like a goggle kind of.
Yeah, wide.
Yeah.
There's like, orange, something like that. Oh, because they're tan.
Oh, so you thought he was naturally orange?
Not naturally orange, but it's been weird because we don't really have those kind of tan culture.
Right.
So I wouldn't know.
Disgraced FBI Director James Comey making a threatening post against Donald Trump tonight as the president is overseas. Fox's Peter Ducey is live from Abu Dhabi with all the details. My goodness, Peter.
And Laura, the real head scratcher about this very serious topic is that James Comey wants us to believe, and we have this photo here, that he saw a cool, these are his words, cool shell formation on my beach walk.
Weird issue with James Comey, the former FBI director, tweet out this picture. Okay, I'll put it up on the screen. You guys can see it here. 8647. This was a tweet, and then from James Comey, and it says, "Cool shell formation on my beach walk." Okay, and the Republicans right now are having a massive meltdown over this shells. Let's say 8647, and Tulsi Gabbard's calling it a hit. Have a watch of this.
The beacon of integrity, the law and order guy, the guy who would tell the truth no matter what the consequences. This is the guy who's issuing a hit on President Trump, the president that the American people voted for. So it's guys like Comey and others who call the president the modern day Nazi, people who are in great positions of influence.
So what do you think about what Tulsi had to say about this being a hit on Trump?
Actually, first of all, what she's saying, why she still only have a kind of filter?
Yeah.
It looks like movie screen, right?
Yeah.
So it's like before she having an interview like key light, spotlight, filter. Okay, go. Looks like that.
I always notice that whenever they put her on TV, it's so bizarre. And actually, this is this weird sci-fi world that we live in because the old Star Trek TV shows
Yeah.
used to do that with the female stars. This is back in like the 60s. If you guys are fans of Star Trek, we have a lot of.
That's why she has like white hair, style.
Yeah, so the joke on that one is that that's like from the X-Men Rogue,
Yeah.
right? So I guess it's a mix of she wants to be a superhero in a sci-fi world, right? And what's funny about the whole thing that when she was given the interview, like, oh yeah, it's totally a hit on Trump, is that they only show the picture of the shells very, very briefly, right? And then they act like this is like a really serious thing.
Yeah, only thing they're showing the shell, but you guys talking about FBI and then who was in the FBI.
Yeah, he was the head of the FBI, yeah.
But even if he's really sending out the message, it's not that dumb to put on the, like open social media and, hey, people, I want to hit some.
Oh,
and plus, it's his shell, right? So he go to beach, collect the shell, and make the number himself.
That was really going to do that, right? But that would be the question then is, okay, because, and this is the discussion, if he does know what the meaning is, and if it is a serious threat, the argument would be, oh, well, this is a worldwide call for the hit on Trump, right? And he's like calling for all people to attack him.
And plus, he's retired like 8 years ago. I don't know. Plus, even if it's a real like message,
right,
they should give more like evidence of other people using this message. That's my opinion.
Have you seen what Comey drew in seashells on the beach? This guy says he doesn't know what 8647 means. Do you believe that?
Yeah, he's the head of the FBI. He doesn't know what 86 somebody means. I mean, this guy is either drunk or he's clearly got TDS at the highest levels.
And it's really hard to have conversations if you can't understand how they're tricking you. I don't like to be mean, but I'm just telling you the truth of like how manipulation works. And so that's why it's important that I literally just show you the picture of these seashells and ask you, do you think like this 8647 is really a call for a hit on Trump?
On Instagram.
On Instagram, right.
And
what's that?
if you can do it, please filter, my side too.
Right.
I like that.
Please do. On top of that, you have Trump's policies, which Trump keeps claiming that he's going to bring all of these great and wonderful deals to the United States, right? And let me tell you the truth about this stuff. Japan is actually trying to hold out for a, quote, better deal, however you want to call it, against Trump. What's Japan negotiating here? It's kind of interesting, actually.
So what's the deal? Because, it's not really on Korean news.
Oh, okay. So we're talking about trade deals, right? And every country needs certain things from, various things. So Japan is really concerned about car tariffs. So, from Japan's point of view, they export a lot of cars. A lot of Americans drive Japanese cars. For years, the Toyotas and the Hondas have been really, really popular. The Toyota's been, I think, the most popular car for like a really long time. The Camry and the, I can't think of the other name, but the Camry's the more expensive one, then there's the cheap one. I think it's the Corolla, the Corolla. And then on the Honda side, it'd be like the Accord, and you're testing my like Honda and Toyota. If you guys remember, it's funny because I don't talk about Toyotas and Hondas all the time, but everyone knows these ones because they're like so many people have these things, and they've been top sellers. And effectively, I think Trump was like saying 25% tariffs, this kind of stuff. And for Japan, just like that's going to be awful for our industries. The stuff that USA sends to Japan is stuff like soybeans and corn and one other product. I can't think of it right now. Soybean, corn. That's why you write stuff down. Rice, right. And that was actually a new one. And actually, you brought that up before. The rice is an interesting one because from Japan's point of view, from national security point of view, let's make sure we grow our own food.
Plus, I don't know, as an Asian, we like to eat our own rice. But now in
Yeah.
Japan, because their Japan, the Japan rice, the prices increase a lot.
Right.
So people has no choice. They have choice, but they buy like Korean rice, USA rice, and there is a big food chain in Japan. Like they're using 80% of the rices from USA.
And this is actually an interesting question that a lot of people face, right? Is do you want to pay more for higher quality? Because I would definitely argue that the
I
rice
like
from
to,
Japan.
but we have certain budget.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, you go to the store and you have a choice of like, meats, for example. And I'll just, tell you here in Korea, if you want to buy Korean meat, it is, I don't know, maybe, is it like 3 times more than U.S. and
Double.
Australian? I'll say at least a double.
Yeah.
And it's quite noticeable, right? Because you guys know how much meat is. Like just for example, let's say you go and you want to buy something, maybe it's 10 or 15 bucks for a steak or whatever, costs in your neck of the woods. And then if you want to buy, say, the higher quality one, and it's like 30 to 40 or whatever, like it's pretty noticeable, And so that's a choice that people have to make. The issue is also with like when it becomes widespread, say something like with rice, which is something that people eat all the time over here in Asia. And yes, it is cheaper, but maybe the U.S. version isn't so great. Is that something that you're willing to sacrifice? And so that's been a point of contention in Japan. And then also your local politics, and this would be similar to various countries around the world. If your leader's seen as giving into Trump, right? It's not particularly popular. So one of the funny things is like people from the UK who watch our channel have been mentioning that their Prime Minister Starmer is seen as Trump's poodle because he gives in too much to Trump. What's that?
Yeah, but is he getting something like secret deal with Trump? Well, no one knows. But
Well, no, whether or not he's getting a secret deal, I mean, who knows? And I want to hear from people in the UK on that one because it doesn't really make sense to me either. Like if local people don't really like Trump, like what's the advantage of getting closer to Trump? Because at least in Japan, they realize like, well, there's not really much advantage to like, hey, let's try to make a deal with Trump as fast as possible. It's just no one. One, you're getting probably a bad deal from Trump because Trump keeps bragging about how he's going to make the good deal, meaning that hey, I'm going to go out and cheat other countries, like saying that publicly, and like, do you think other countries are like, oh wow, I'm so happy to be cheated by Trump? It's not really going to work that way.
yeah.
I want to read a couple comments from you guys so you can hear some thoughts around the community. This is coming in from Marjorie. Marjorie says, Trump being a sycophant to the UAE is a new low for America. So we taxpayers pay for all the expenses for his trip under the guise of working for America. And if you've been following this particular story, we talked about Trump's in various countries in the Middle East. The video I just made this morning, Trump's now working to build AI, or they call it data centers, but it's AI-related data centers in the UAE. And I told you guys, it's like, well, the good news is that Trump's making jobs. The bad news is that the jobs are in the UAE. So there's that. Here's another comment from someone in the community. This is coming from Mama Jama. Mama Jama says, as a taxpayer, I want good, clean water, safe food, education for the youth. That is interesting and stimulating. I want good health care that treat disease, not symptoms, et cetera, et cetera. I don't want AI and robots. WTF, really?
Yeah.
And I like to read comments, and I do read all your guys' comments. I can't respond to all of them, but I do like to read them because essentially I feel like I'm not alone, and I hope you feel like that you're not alone, right? If you want these kind of things too, clean water, safe food, right? Education, you're not alone. And it's weird because like the Trump people, they're always focused on stuff that's like, I don't care,
Because they already have it.
Costs are way down. Groceries are where they have a term, grocery. It's an old term, but it means basically what you're buying, food. It's a pretty accurate term, but it's an old-fashioned sound. But groceries are down, costs are down, eggs are down. First week they were hitting me with eggs were up 200%, and now they're down to a number that is amazing. We're down 97, 98% from where they were.
Trump said again, give you an example, he said again that the word groceries is like an old word. Like what do you...
It's not even an old word. They never use that word.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah, because he never goes shopping at the grocery store, and it's just like that's so out of touch these people are. And then they go on TV and talk about how Comey tweeting out she sells is like some sort of hit.
Yeah.
It's so lunacy. But anyway, I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this thing. Should we call for articles of impeachment on Trump? Is now the time? Do you disagree with the current stance of the Democrat Party that now is not the time? And should we just go ahead and go for it? So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. So bye.
Bye.